Everybody, or good evening, depending on where you are, or for some, good morning. Hope everything is going well in your life. What a day for Scotty Scheffler, huh? Getting arrested this morning, spending the morning in jail, and then coming out and getting on the first tee, and he shoots a 66. Think about that for a minute. Think about what he experienced this morning, and yet he's still able to go out and shoot a 66. He's 4 shots off the lead at the halfway point. Xander Schauffele today at 3 under, and he is at 12 under for the tournament. Colin Morikawa is 1 back at 11 under, and Thigala has not yet completed his second round, and then Scheffler at 9 under. It's pretty remarkable, huh? Pretty remarkable. Listen, I don't know anything more than what I've read and what I've heard. You know what? Again, it appears that this was just an overreaction by the police and by Scotty Scheffler. Again, I'm only trying to piece together what I've heard from Scotty, the police report, attorneys that are weighing in on everything. So, it's dark out. Anyone that's gone to any golf tournament, there are all kinds of police and security out in front of the venue, directing traffic, police directing traffic, police doing what they're doing. This obviously was a more chaotic scene because it was a crime scene due to the fatality earlier in the morning. So, I thought Scotty handled it as well as he could, talking about, the great respect for the police and what a great job they do. And good for him. You know what? Good for him, because our police do a hell of a job. And are there some bad apples? Yeah, of course there are. There are bad apples in every single profession, every walk of life. I mean, politicians. Hello. Lawyers, doctors, right? Car salesmen, dentists, right? I mean, we can go on and on. So I thought Scotty Scheffler handled this as well as he could have at the end of his round today. I thought he was great. Cody weighs in. Grant, the Commanders have to travel 10,000 miles. The Chargers have to travel like 26,000 miles this season. Well, the Commanders play in a division where you don't even have to fly anywhere except for to Dallas. Philadelphia is a bus ride. New York, very often they take the train. So, I don't know what to tell you, Cody. I know there's international trip involved too. I get all of that. But the geographical location, Sacramento, the Kings always used to travel more than most teams in the league. Just the way it is, I mean, if you were, I'll never forget when my buddy played for the New York Rangers. He said, Napes, we'll go a month without getting on an airplane. We're playing the Islanders. We're playing the Devils. We're playing the Flyers. And he's like, it's unbelievable. So I get it, Cody says, shouldn't Dallas be in the NFC South, move the Panthers or Falcons to the East? Yes. I mean, that's true in a lot of different sports. Like, why are the New Orleans Pelicans in the Western Conference of the NBA? But Dallas is always going to be in the NFC East. I don't see that ever changing. The Dallas-Washington rivalry, Dallas-Philly, Dallas-Giants, it would be really bad for the league to break that up. So I don't see that happening. I don't. But yes, you could realign the divisions, geographically speaking, to make a lot more sense. I think that's very true. I've never quite understood, looking for years, what the NFC West looked like, right? You're like, wait a minute. So that's true in all sports for the most part. You could definitely move some teams around to make more geographical sense. That is for sure. No question about that. Love the questions. You got the QR code up in the corner of your screen. So keep that in mind. Give me a shout. Would love to have you on. whether you want to do it via the chat or you can give me a call. But what happened today in Louisville, first of all, let's just call it the way it is. It's a unfortunate incident. It's bad publicity all the way around. Okay? It's just bad publicity all the way around. A lot of talk around Ingram and Donovan Mitchell to Sacramento. Who's a better fit? Well, you would take Donovan Mitchell in a heartbeat. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Mitchell's not coming to Sacramento. As far as Brandon Ingram, again, his lack of sustainability concerns me. He's only played 70-plus games once in his season. I don't know. I would stay away from guys that can't give you the number of games that I need for them to be on the ball club. First and foremost, you got to find out what you're going to do with Malik Monk. Is Malik Monk going to stay? Do you have the money to keep him? Or is the team going to come in and make him an offer that works out? I mean, you got to start with Malik Monk and then go from there. I haven't heard anyone talking about Donovan Mitchell to Sacramento, Zach. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I haven't seen any of those rumors. I don't really pay attention to those trade rumors anyway because they very rarely come to fruition. Just, All right, in a little bit, the Knicks and the Pacers. Indiana needs to win to keep the series alive and force it back for a Game 7. You think they're making some money at the Madison Square Garden this spring with the Rangers on their way to the Eastern Conference Finals and the Knicks one win away from the Eastern Conference Finals? There's like a game there every night. It's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. So anyway, the Knicks and the Pacers. Once again, we talk about the start times of these games. An 8:30 start time, East Coast. Probably be like 8:40. So I'd be shocked if Indiana was still able to win this series. I'd be shocked to see the Pacers go into New York if they were able to win tonight and win a Game 7. That would really surprise me. Now, this other series, I thought after Game 5, that was it, that the T-Wolves were done. But I'll tell you, this Jamal Murray situation would concern me if I'm Denver. He was clearly bothered with that elbow injury, and he needs to be good for Game 7. Because if not, the Denver Nuggets, they're not a sure thing just because they're at home to win. So we'll see, Again, the elbow injury was an issue. There's no doubt about that. Last night, it happened early in the game, and, he ran into the screen of Rudy Gobert, and then he ended up shooting only 4 of 18. That's not Murray. So we'll see, Riley says, saw a fan wearing a T-shirt with Reggie Miller making the choking sign. I'm worried about his personal safety. It's New York, right? You're talking about the watch party at MSG? Yeah, absolutely. I hear you. All right, again, if you want to hit me up, give me a call. You got the QR code in the corner of your screen. We'll be with you for, about 30 minutes or so. Get you ready for tip-off with the Knicks and the Pacers. Listen, I'd like to see Indiana win tonight, force a Game 7. Game 7s are always fun. I think it is great drama. I love Game 7s in the Stanley Cup playoffs. I don't think there's really many things better than that. So Game 7 in basketball, yeah, you already got one with the Denver Nuggets and the Timberwolves. I mean, it would be great for the league to have the Knicks and the Pacers go to 7. I'll tell you one thing, if you're the Knicks, if you have any chance at all of beating Boston, this is a really important game tonight. The last thing the Knicks need right now with the amount of minutes played and their injuries is to play any extra games. I mean, do not underestimate that. If you're the Knicks right now, you do not want to have to play an extra game Obviously, you don't want to have to play a game because you could lose it and your season could be over. But attrition is very much a issue with the Knicks right now. So, you know, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. But to me, do not want that extra game if you're the Knicks. No. I mean, we talk about Jalen Brunson, talking about Hart. I mean, these guys are pretty much playing the whole game. So we'll see. Said Halliburton has a chance to make a name for himself tonight. Halliburton's already made a name for himself. But I understand your point. He's already made a name for himself. The guy's going to be a perennial all-star, just the way it is. I mean, he's a really good player. He's a good leader. You know, the Pacers are building the franchise around him. That's why they went out and made the deal to get Siakam. I mean, listen, Tyrese Halliburton, he's not even near his prime yet, you know? It's just not. Grant, was Wink Martindale that bad? Seems like Bowen will completely change the scheme. It was more of a power struggle between Brian Dable and Wink about just different philosophies. And I think there just was too much friction there. That's what I'm speaking with my contacts with the New York Giants. Brunson is everything Fox needs to be for Sacramento. I do not disagree, but that's never going to happen. You've watched De'Aaron Fox play for 7 years. He is who he is. You know who Brunson is. Fox is never going to be Brunson. He's just not happening. Fox is going to wake up tomorrow and have the mentality of Brunson. It's not happening. Just not happening. Plain and simple. I mean, Fox is a good player. Let's not sell Fox short. But I mean, if you were given Jalen Brunson or De'Aaron Fox for your basketball team, you're taking Brunson, right? You're talking about the 1994 Stanley Cup Finals. I was at games 3 and 4 in Vancouver. I was in game 5 in New York. I was in game 6 in Vancouver, and I was in game 7 in New York. And in between those games, I was at the studio in Sacramento doing the sports on the news at night on Channel 31. That was a pretty wild schedule. Stayed up in Vancouver for games 3 and 4. Before I went back to New York for game 5, flew to Sacramento, did the sports, took the red eye out, landed in the morning, game 5. Got up early in the morning after game 5, flew back to Sacramento, did the news, the sports on the news. Flew to Vancouver for game 6. Flew back to Sacramento, did the sports, took the red eye out, landed in New York, met Christopher Mad Dog Russo, my good buddy, at a coffee shop a couple blocks away from the Garden at 11 o'clock. Chris said, "You want to just come in and watch the show?" I'm like, "Yeah." And never forget it. We walk in through the security entrance, which I've done numerous times at Madison Square Garden, but with a press credential, which was always looked at. Game 7, the biggest hockey game in the history of Madison Square Garden. Probably the 3rd biggest event in the history of the Garden, behind the Knicks and Willis Reed coming out in game 7 against the Lakers, Ali Frazier, and then the Rangers game 7. Those are the 3, in my opinion, biggest events ever at that Madison Square Garden. Walk right in, security guard, "What's up there, doggy?" That's Chris. I walk right in. They don't even look at me. Get in the elevator. Go up to the 5th floor. You know, a lot of people don't realize this. Madison Square Garden, the ice surface and the court's on the 5th floor. It's not on the ground. It's on the 5th floor at Madison Square Garden. And so we walked right in, and I sat and observed Chris and Mike Francesa doing the show before game 7. I still, to this day, because my ticket was brought to me to my broadcast location, Chris had a guy go get my ticket that George McPhee had left me. To this day, I still have the unused ticket. When I mean unused, I never went back out and went through the ticket entrance because I didn't need to. And back then, they ripped the ticket. There was no scanning. They took your ticket and they ripped it and they gave you back half of it. That never happened to me. Pretty amazing, you know? Just spin. This one. Had Brunson been a better Knick than Carmelo Anthony, the Melo hype in New York was wild. There's no question about it. Jalen Brunson, not even close in what he's done for the Knicks and Carmelo Anthony. It's not even close. Carmelo Anthony did nothing for the Knicks. Nothing. I mean, yeah, he was fun to watch, but what did he do for the Knicks? Nothing. Nothing. I mean, it's not even close. Not even close. Seriously. Carmelo Anthony and Jalen Brunson and their impact with the Knicks, not even close. Hey, New Works Plumbing, they've got a fix for you for your plumbing needs and repairs. Just go to sackserviceplumbing.com or just call that number on your screen. Remember, they're available 24/7 for all of your plumbing needs and repairs. That is sackserviceplumbing.com. New Works Plumbing, they've got a fix for you. I'm just curious. Do you think, as we say thank you to New Works Plumbing, do you think anything is going to, do you know that Scotty Scheffler with the Chargers, if they remain, could be looking up to 10 years in jail? Now, we know that's not going to happen, all right? He doesn't have a criminal record. He's, they're probably going to plea this down and he'll have to pay a fine and make some, whatever. You know what I mean? But do you think anything's going to come of this? I mean that. Do you think anything's going to come of this? Do you think that this is going to go away? Or do you think that do you think it's going to be swept under the rug, or do you think there's going to be more to it, you know? All right. All you have to do is hit me up via my chat line or give me a call. You got the QR code in the corner of your screen. We'll see that. Hornet Horse, how are you, my friend? I think it's a no-brainer that felony charge will be dropped. You would think so. You know? You would think so. I mean, I don't think there's any way that the felony charge is going to stay. All right? I just don't. I mean, that's going to be gone. All right? Ryan, thank you, buddy. Rhino in Sacktown watching the show. You can come on if you want, my friend. Feel free to jump on if you want. It said the felony will almost certainly be dropped by or on Tuesday based on my law experience. I don't think there's any question about that. You know, Cody says slap on the wrist. I mean, it just seemed to me that this was just one of those unfortunate incidents that happened. And again, it appears that there was no bad intent from Scotty Scheffler. The police officer was doing his job based on the fact that a motorist did not pay attention to him and was dragged for a period of time, suffered a few injuries. I mean, I get it. I understand both sides of it. You know, it's a chaotic situation. There are people everywhere with the police and security. Scheffler's got a admittance into Valhalla with a specially marked car, right? PGA pass to get in. And, you know, I just think it's an honest mistake by all parties concerned based on just what I've read and based on Scotty Scheffler and what he said after his round today. Seemed very sincere to me, you know. Dre wants to know, should the Kings worry about Memphis next year? They should worry about every team in the West because every team in the West is now good with the exception of maybe Portland. That's it. San Antonio is going to be good, right? Houston, we already know, is good. Those are teams that are going to be knocking on the door. Thunder aren't going anywhere. Timberwolves aren't going anywhere. Nuggets aren't going anywhere, right? Clippers I don't know about. Warriors I don't know about. Lakers I don't know about. Mavs are going to be good. Memphis, if they're healthy, will be good. New Orleans, we know, is going to be good, even if they lose Brandon Ingram because they're going to replace him with somebody. Who's not going to be good in the West other than Portland? Now, there's always a team that has a devastating injury or two, and you're like, oh, boy. I mean, let's just say it. If Fox were to go down for, a month or more, the Kings are done based on their roster. Now, that could change. They could end up getting a point guard who's very serviceable that when Fox isn't on the floor can run the show. That player is not on the roster currently, could be on the roster after free agency or the NBA draft. So we'll do that, No, you aren't a surgeon, but will he still be 100% of what he was due to his injury? Who are you referring to? Who? Give me a name. We're talking about a lot of different people. Give me a name. All right. Again, you go back to Sacramento. It all starts with Malik Monk. If you lose Monk, you must figure out a way to replace him. There's nobody on the roster right now that can do what Malik Monk did. Nobody. Oh, John Morant. Most players come back and recover very well after surgery in this day and age. 15, 20, 30, 40 years ago, no. Now, yes. So, should be pretty good. We'll find out. He still has the whole offseason to get ready. Glad to have you with us here. If you want to call the show, you got the QR code up on the screen. Want to tell you about Bennett's. What a fabulous place for your weekend brunch tomorrow and Sunday. Don't forget, during the week from 2 to 6, there are sips and taste, great happy hours and great prices on wine and cocktails and hors d'oeuvres and everything else for you with the appetizers. Go to Bennett'sRestaurants.com. You can check out everything that they have to offer you. Sacramento, Roseville, and the West Side Grill. Go to Bennett'sRestaurants.com. All right, just curious, how many of you out there think that the Pacers are going to win the game tonight? What do you think? You think the Pacers win or the Knicks? Would I do the Sabonis-Halley deal all over again? I would, yes. Sabonis has been a stabilizing force for the Kings. He's a perennial all-star. He's one of the best bigs in the game. And yes, I would do that. Do I wish I had Halliburton instead of Fox? Yeah, I do. I'm going to be honest with you. But I'd rather have Fox and Sabonis than Halliburton and someone not named Sabonis. Does that make sense? What do you think? I mean, would you do the trade over again? I would. Are you happy that there will be football on Wednesday, Christmas Day? Give me football 7 days a week, Cody, and I'm happy. Absolutely. Yes. Yes. Give me football on Christmas Day. They're already talking about playing 2 games next Christmas. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. The NBA's hoping that they don't, because the NFL ratings destroy the NBA ratings on Christmas. But yes, I think the NFL is going to play on Christmas Day forever now. It's just too big of a market, too much of a moneymaker, and the public wants that. So, yeah. All right, so Walt says that I think the Kings should grab Brandon Ingram. He would help Fox. He would, but you can't help Fox if you're not on the floor. And Brandon Ingram gets hurt too much for my liking, Could I imagine Holly and Sabonis together would be awesome? They would be awesome. But the Pacers didn't want Fox, so you couldn't have made that deal. They wanted Sabonis. I mean, they wanted Tyrese Halliburton. Just the way it is, you know. Preston says I would do the deal, but I'm starting to wish they traded Fox because of him not being as consistent as Halliburton. Listen, I understand what you're saying, but that deal wasn't on the table. It wasn't like, we would take De'Aaron Fox. No, they didn't. They wanted Tyrese Halliburton. I mean, I understand that we as fans like to make our own deals, but that deal wasn't on the table. So, you have to be a little realistic about this, right? You can't make a deal that's not there. That deal was not on the table. So I understand your wish list. I get all of that. I truly do get all of that. But that wasn't on the table. So you weren't going to be able to keep Halliburton and get Sabonis because the Pacers weren't going to do that deal. Just the way it is, Fox needs help mindset-wise. I'm just telling you, if Fox is who he is, he's not going to change going into his 8th year. He's not going to wake up in the morning and all of a sudden have a different mindset or a different approach, or it's not going to happen. He is who he is. He's a good player. He's a good player. We have to acknowledge that he's a good player. He has some shortcomings. We have to acknowledge that as well. And you have to live with that. To me, the Kings are not a threat in the West right now. Could they be? Yeah, they could be with some off-season moves. The draft pick to me is not going to make a difference. So I don't know what they're going to do yet. I have to wait and see what the roster looks like. But right now, they're not a threat in the West. They're not a threat to Oklahoma City or Minnesota. I don't even think they're a threat to Denver. I'm not so sure that we saw what happened with New Orleans this year. They lost 6 games out of 6 tries. So, I understand that this debate will go on forever with should have they kept Halliburton or Fox. But, what Sabonis has done for the Kings, you can't underestimate that. I mean, in the last 2 years, they won 48 and 46 games respectively. And he plays every game. And he pretty much delivers every game. So, I mean, you can go over this until you're blue in the face. The deal is what it is. It made the Pacers better. And it made Sacramento better. And there's really no debate there. That you can't debate whether it made Indiana and Sacramento better. It's a deal that worked out well for both teams. It made Indiana significantly better, and it made Sacramento significantly better. And you really can't argue with that, Just the way it is. I mean, that's no debate. You just can't debate that. I like when a deal helps out both teams. That's the way it should be, because a lot of times trades are very one-sided, right? Just the way it is. All right. Hey, I want to tell you about Sunrise Landing in Calusa. And if you go to CalusaSunrise.com, you can get all the information. This is the newest residential community in Calusa from Blazona Development. Sunrise Landing, you have many models to choose from. Now, it's a 5-phase project, okay? 5-phase project. Here are some of the beautiful models to choose from. You have lot sizes ranging from 7,600 square feet to over 16,000 square feet. We're talking about beautiful, spacious interiors, quality, craftsmanship, affordability, great community, located adjacent to the Calusa Golf and Country Club, easy access to Highway 20, Highway 45, and I-5. Just go to CalusaSunrise.com. Check out everything. And again, that is Sunrise Landing in Calusa. Pacers, Knicks, starting in a couple of minutes. We'll find out whether or not this thing will go to a game 7. I'm not saying, and I know you're not giving up on Fox. I'm not giving up on Fox either. I'm kind of giving up on him being an elite player. I just don't see it. There are too many pitfalls for him to be in the Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Anthony Edwards, Jalen Brunson. I'm leaving a couple guys out. He's not in that category. He's just not. He's in the next category, which is a very good category. But, I mean, that's where he is. And I don't see that changing at this juncture of his career. I just don't. So, be grateful for what you have. I mean, he is a good player. He's an all-star caliber player. But he's not on that superstar level. I thought he could have gotten there. I thought I was starting to see that last year, especially in the playoffs against the Warriors. I'm like, wow. I thought he was brilliant. Brilliant. I thought he was the best player on the floor until he broke his finger. Just the way it is. All right? I mean, be grateful for what you have. He's a good player. He's a good player. He's not elite. And it's a shame because he has elite type skills. And here's the other deal. As soon as he loses a half a step, he's not going to be the same player. And I say that because he is one of the players, unlike a Brunson, that truly, I shouldn't say unlike Brunson, but the point I'm trying to make is there aren't a lot of De'Aaron Foxes in the NBA with his speed and his foot speed and his just incredible quickness and stopping on a dime. When that changes a little bit, his efficiency is going to go way down because how else is he going to beat you? Just the way it is. He's not. De'Aaron Fox is not a superstar. He's an all-star caliber player. He's not a superstar. Mike Bibby wasn't a superstar. NBA's a team game, but Mike Bibby was a very, very good player. Completely different type of a player than Fox. I think we can all agree on that. I mean, completely different. Completely different. All right, the Knicks and the Pacers getting ready to start here in just a couple of moments. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Also, give us a thumbs up. We would greatly appreciate that. When you subscribe to the channel, you'll always know when shows are coming your way. Don't forget, Ryan's got his show every day at 2 o'clock right here on If You Don't Like That. Breen's calling the game tonight. Didn't even realize that. Good for Mike Breen. There you have it. Anytime Breen's behind a mic or Ian Eagle or Kevin Harlan, those three announcers for a playoff game, I'm fine. Anybody else, I'm like, oh, no. Brian Anderson, not basketball. Baseball, yeah, give me Brian Anderson for every baseball game. Basketball, no. Mark Jones, come on. I mean, the difference between Ian Eagle and Mike Breen and Kevin Harlan and Mark Jones is the difference between night and day. Come on now. But, yeah, Breen, yeah. Take him all season long. All right. Hey, I hope you all have a fabulous, fabulous weekend. Appreciate all of you. Wanted to do a quick show before we get ready for the Knicks and the Pacers. And we'll talk to you again on Monday. Don't forget to follow us here on If You Don't Like That. Subscribe to the channel. Me and Ryan, we're doing shows all the time. Rhino's got his show every day. I'm doing a lot of shows. We love your support. Thank you very much. Stay safe. Have a great weekend, everybody.